Hey guys, welcome to the May 2023 budget recap video where I'll be walking you through everything that I did in the month of May with respects to my money. And today is June 1st, it's the first day of June, and I figured why not film this video today and share with you today. So I'm filming early in the morning so that I can be able to edit the video, and hopefully before the end of my day I'll be able to upload the video. So I have my trusted laptop here with me where I will be sharing with you my screen as you will be watching me go over my tracker and explain to you exactly what I did with my money in the month of May. I must say that even though the month of May was not my highest income month, it was one of my most expensive months so far in 2023, purely because everything I feel like that could have happened in the month of May. Was just a very expense heavy month. I traveled abroad with my girls. Then I also traveled for work, which, if I'm honest, this is the first time I felt like I actually did not want to go on a business trip, but I did. I'm glad I did. And it was an incredible month. I ended May on such a high that I'm still buzzing from it. But my finances, on the other hand, regret a lot of decisions that I made in the month of May. So without further ado, I'm gonna start the screen record now, and then I'll walk you through, guys, through my tracker. So yeah, and also if you're interested in the tracker that I'm using in today's video, you can find this in my Etsy shop. It's always linked down below in the description box. So for the month of May, this is how I manage my money. I brought in over 12,000 and I have about £1,000 left to spend. And my income summary here, I have purposefully left the other sources because I wanted to highlight the fact that, as I mentioned, this was not my highest income month, but it was a month where I dipped into my savings big time, and I'll be able to explain that. And then other income, I'm glad I made over £1,000 in other income, and then the carryover money that I always have, like the buffer that I have to pay the bills that come out on the first of every month. Like today, all of my bills, 90% of my main bills came out, including some of my rental bills. So with respect to the month of May, here's how I broke everything down. Here's how I spent the money. So if I start off first with the main bills. So with the main bills, the only thing that was different here is with respect to my mobile. I only paid 91 pence with this one, purely because when I changed my contract back in March and April, I paid the same amount that I paid in the past, which was like almost £100. So there was leftover money from that covered all of it. So I only had to pay 91 pence. Then when it came to the internet, I was expecting it to be double, but my new internet provider did not charge me yet. Again, this is because I had overpaid because I've gone to Vodafone. So now they are not only my mobile line rental provider, they're also my internet provider. So that they just combined it all in one. So I didn't have to spend as much as I did. But I will show you in my closeout for June how this is different in June, because I have had to pay quite a sum, and I'll explain in that video. But this was something that was different. This is the car tax is also something that you don't see every single month on my bill, because I paid every 6 months. So May was the month when I needed to pay it, and the next one is November. So I always have a sinking fund for this and save for this separately. So I just put from that. And then my mobile, my second mobile, this one I got charged twice because of how April ended and the fact that the beginning of May was a bank holiday. They ended up charging at the beginning of May for April and then at the end of May for May. So I ended up paying more than I normally pay, which is just under £12. But also this is going up. And another thing, with my second mobile, this was with Virgin Media. Somehow, somewhere, they sent me emails about this to tell me that they've sold this to O2. Don't understand anything, but it's fine because the price has gone up slightly, but nothing is really changing. So when it comes to my main bills, I spent, I think, about I want to say £50 less than what I had anticipated I was going to spend. When it comes to my rental bills, nothing really changed here. It's the same thing as always, but for the month of June, there's a lot of expenses that are different. So I spent more or less what I had budgeted to spend. Like I said, I always budget more than what I'm actually expecting to spend so that I'm never over my bills, my main bills. When it comes to variable expenses, which is these expenses here, this is completely different. We operate a different system for this because I always seem to have overspend in some category. In the past, I used to operate under the overspend in one category, make sure you don't overspend in another so that things still balance out. So I thought I was going to send at least 1,300 towards my variable expenses, but you guys, I spent over 6,500, and let me explain. First off, when it comes to groceries, fine, this is within budget, which is absolutely great. Then when it comes to my fuel, I didn't need to do the last top up, but I did, which put me over. But I was actually already over by, I believe, £5. But then I did a last top up, which pushed me over. And this is because I went on a trip the last few days of May, so I needed to drive, and yeah, because of that I went over. But I also put a mental note that for the month of June, because I don't have a lot of trips planned, I am actually going to pretend as if I already used that money in May and I don't have enough for June, so that I don't blow that budget. So let's hold me accountable to what I'm saying right now if I remember. But that's my current plan. Dining out, this one, all I can say is the weather is nicer and I went on a lot more trips and I met up with friends and all of that good jazz. So it meant that I ate out and ordered in a lot more than usual. Shopping, no excuse, but I needed a couple of trousers for work, and I realized that since 2020, since the C word, I have not really bothered buying clothes for work. And now that I'm back to doing a lot of business trips, I can't manungo the outfits that I have right now for business purposes. So I've had to do a bit of shopping. Home. This is where the shit hit the fan. Excuse my French. But it was such a crazy month. So at the beginning of May, my boiler kicked the bucket, so to speak. It started leaking from all over, and this was what was interesting because, you know, sometimes when too much pressure is built up or you have no pressure in your boiler, you kind of like can try and turn the taps at the bottom of the boiler. But this time my boiler was literally bleeding water from everywhere. I couldn't pinpoint the source. It was definitely somewhere from the top, and then it was just a whole mess. So called my insurance. My insurance was like, when was the last time you serviced it? And then I completely forgot. This is something that I never do, but I did this time. I always service my boiler. And last year when I had to call my previous insurance, I thought they had come to also service, but they didn't. So I didn't have evidence that my previous insurance serviced my boiler because I had a small issue last year. And because of that, it turned out that I was out of warranty, because the last time I actually serviced my boiler wasn't 2021, but rather at the end of 2021, not 2022. So I was out of the 15 months. So according to my new insurance, I should have serviced my boiler in the last 15 months for them to cover it. And guess what? I was the whole 16 months into it. My boiler really, it could have just broken in April and I would have been within the time, but no, it didn't. It decided to break in May when I was out of my time period that my new insurance covers. So they didn't cover that, which meant that I had to pull from my emergency fund. And I know, it is good that I have an emergency fund to pull from, but I don't know about you. I really, as much as I save for my emergency fund for emergencies, I actually don't like spending the money in my emergency fund. I just like it sitting there and me looking at it. I know this is silly, but honestly, I don't like spending money in my emergency fund. I like looking at it in my account. So I had to spend to call out an emergency local company. They came and that cost me over almost just under £400. That to look at it and fix it. And then because obviously I had realized that I hadn't serviced it, after that fixed it and what have you, I called a gas engineer just to make sure he came over and did the certification. So now my boiler is certified. I am so mad at myself because for my rental properties, I'm always on top of it. I'm always calling the companies like, hey, excuse me, why have you not serviced my boiler and stuff like that? But on my own home, I forgot, like completely forgot, which is unheard of, but yeah. Then I had spoken in my 2022 goals that I wanted to paint my home. Finally, in the month of May, I found a painter and my walls are still white. I know my friends think this is clinical, but I love it. My walls are still white, but I found somebody to paint and that cost me over £1,000 to do that. So for the boiler, it cost me just under £500. And then for painting the house, just over £1,000. Now I'm trying to think what else could have caused this to go up. I did a lot of shopping for my house as well. That much I know, but I didn't realize there was a lot more than that. Okay, another one that I did, I bought outdoor furniture because the weather has been absolutely incredible. So I did buy myself some outdoor furniture, which cost me a pretty penny, over 300 pounds. But also on a new project that I'm working on for my house, I had to pay the lawyers, so that was also over 300 pounds. So yeah, that makes sense now why the amount is over 2,700 pounds. So that is on housing. Personal growth, I'm quite concerned here that I'm not really investing in my own personal growth. And for me, this means, buying books, buying courses and stuff like that. But I haven't really been utilizing this category, and I need to look into this, especially after when we start the second half of the year, purely because for the month of June, I've got other priorities that I'm going to focus on. Personal care. So yeah, personal care, things like doing my nails, doing my hair, massages, all of that I did, and shopping, hygiene stuff, shopping, massages, all of that good jazz. I actually spent a lot. Normally I just allocate £25, but your girl spent almost £200 because it was required. And my neighbor's dog is barking, so apologies if you can hear that. Then miscellaneous. This one I only went over because I didn't have a category for business. I had to use my own money to pay for certain things in my business because I didn't make any money from my business. So yep, that's the only reason I went over. Travel, let's not even go here because I spent way more than I planned. Like I said, I went on 2 trips. One was a business trip and then one was a girls trip. And I think with the girls trip, because I was using the Transfer Tuesday funding, I was actually able to do use that money the majority of the time. But between July and December, let's exclude September October for now. The rest of the months I have trips booked and paid for, and because of that I overspent and I had to pull from my savings to pay for a lot of these upcoming trips. For the month of June, I'm definitely not going anywhere. I'm just going to stay at home, but I do want to go to the beach if I can. But I did spend quite a lot of money. I budgeted 100, but I spent over 1,000, almost 1,600 here. Subscriptions, my one subscription is the biggest one here, but I forgot about my Nest. I have a Nest to control my heating, but also my doorbell. I forgot about that subscription I have with Google. It always comes due in May. Completely forgot, but here we are. So I had to pay for that. This is why I'm over. Then I'm happy to see that I was able to tithe and give more in the month of May because this makes me really happy. I budgeted 530 and I was able to give tithe over £900. Then socializing. This one, again, it's hot outside now. The weather is amazing and I've been meeting up with almost all of my friends. So I'm not surprised that I spent over 200, almost £300. But no regrets there because everything that I did, I enjoyed. Then I had a dentist appointment, but I put from my savings. I have a dental sinking fund, so that was fine. Then for gifts, I had 2 birthdays for my close friends in the month of May. So there's a group of us who put money together, and that's how we pay for these things. So because it wasn't budgeted, it's in red. So that was just over £50. So this is how I spent my money, my variable expenses. Like I say, you can see how I track all of this, and yeah, this is how I track all of my expenses. And then this lovely graph here, chart, shows you exactly how everything is broken down, which I absolutely love. Now, if we come back here and focus on my, if we focus on my, firstly, my savings. So with my savings, I was able to save and invest over £1,000, which is double what I had initially budgeted, £500, which is great. And then for my debt as well, I sent just under £1,000, which is also great as well. So when it comes to how I spent my money, I sent 13% towards my main bills, which is always my goal to be under 20%. My rental, 8%. This is standard. Expenses, this is the worst one ever that I've done in such a long time, but it was over 53%, which is absolutely crazy. Savings is the lowest I believe it's been for a while, so 9%. Debt, 8%. I would like to move this up to 10% being sent towards debt. And so I have utilized about 91% of the total income that I had to work with in the month of May. And then the rest I have moved to the month of June. Like I said, today is June 1st. All my bills have gone through. So we use that money to pay for all of those bills. But that is the that is how it went in the month of May. I can't believe that I spent the amount of money that I did. Like, especially when it comes to housing. I know like buying furniture for outdoor was something that was necessary and I needed it, and I'm glad I did. But and also painting the house was also something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I had the funds now, so I dip into my savings and I did that. But I feel some type of way having to pay out of pocket for my boiler when I have insurance. And I know it's my fault that I didn't double check the conditions and also forgot to um, get the gas certificate for my boiler, but I'm still pissed that I had to spend that much money when I am paying quite a lot of money in my insurance just to have that covered. But I know, again, chicken and egg. I know it's my fault, but doesn't stop me from being pissed off that I spent that much money on my boiler. But actually looking at it, there's so many categories that in the second half of the year I'm going to have to revamp, which means I need to bring in more money to be able to spend more, right? You know, lifestyle creep and all of that good jazz. Whilst I try not to fall into lifestyle creep, there are times when I know I'm definitely falling for lifestyle creep. My goal has always been, and I think I've done pretty well, because I have not changed my living style much since 2018, 2019. And this is to say that the income that I used to get in 2019 is what I budget the majority of stuff off of. So the money that you see going towards my savings and my debt, that's additional income that I am allocating to these two things. So I'm choosing to pay myself first by investing in my future. So for my pension with my work, I do salary sacrifice. Then I also invest myself in my ISA, in the SIP, in general investment accounts. I contribute towards the company that I work for by investing in that company as well. Then also, now that I have debt again, a big loan, I am also using that money. So essentially, I'm still living off of the income from 2019, but the difference here is I have a beefier savings now that I can draw upon if required. But if I didn't have to do house painting, if I didn't have to buy outdoor furniture, if I didn't have to pay for the boiler, I would still somehow still be within the income bracket that I had back in 2019, and then the rest is still going towards my savings and my debt. So essentially, that what I'm trying to say is I'm still living off the amount that I used to make in 2019, and then the additional that I have had since then until now just goes towards my savings and my debt. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with respect to my May 2023 budget recap. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.